This is Shaun Sport in podcast form.
Well, it's certainly all happening for the West Coast Fever. They are dominating at the moment. They're taking on Melbourne Vixens this Sunday. Let's get these.
This is a massive game.
Yeah,
young ladies.
Yes. I want to say something else.
Vixens.
Let's hear it for the best seats in the house with Bankwest 13 24 10. If you want this double pass, and why wouldn't you? Caller number 10 will get them. Welcome to the show again, Kelsey Browne.
I love it's my favourite part of the week.
Kelsey Browne.
Hey, by the way, I just want to start by saying last time you were in here, we thought you were playing and you didn't play.
Yeah.
It's a web of lies.
Yes, no, I have been a little bit injured the last 2 weeks. But the positive news is I'm back on the training court and I got through some training yesterday and hopefully up for selection this week.
That's great. Let's get to the
Crux of the matter.
stuff. I'll ask you where you live. So you're so I'll ask you where area you live. You said that currently you are renting in Scarborough.
Yes.
What scenario was that? Because I was straight away I would assume that you had moved in with one of the girls from the team.
Yeah,
or something to do with something to do with netball.
Yeah, no, it was very last minute.
Yes.
So I just knew that I was coming. I found out probably middle of December that I was coming. So I kind of had to find a house in about 2-3 weeks. And I
Tough
moved,
time of year to do that too.
first week of January. So I just thought, and I knew that I was only sort of on an 8-month contract. So I was like, I don't want to sign a 12-month lease and whatever. So I went on Flatmate Finders.
Is that a thing?
Yes.
I'm going to start looking for
And
myself.
you just go in, you make a profile for yourself. And I found this guy, and my prerequisite was that they couldn't be there a lot. So he's a FIFO worker. He works like 3 weeks away and in 1 week home.
Amazing.
And I've lived
This
here
is the
for 5
dream.
weeks. 5 months, and I've seen him 6 times. So.
He's lived there for 5
is
months and seen
amazing.
him 6 times.
Yeah.
And you pay equal rent.
Yeah, we do.
Yes.
Well, I think we do.
So
yeah.
the lease is in his name and he sublets to you.
Yes.
So, yeah.
No, well, I'm actually on the lease now.
Are you?
So, yeah.
Oh.
So, but I can leave anytime that I want. And I don't know. It's been a perfect scenario. So I basically live alone in Scarborough. Oh, I
Amazing.
shouldn't probably say that.
Yeah, no, I've got a big
The door
man there.
unlocked and the address is...
And there's a big dog. But yeah, it's everyone thinks it's so weird. I pretty much moved in with a stranger.
Yes.
I'd only met him on FaceTime. He showed me my room and I was like, yeah, that's great.
So is it like a dating profile, Flatmate Finder?
Yes.
You see him, does he see you?
Yes.
Of course he wanted
Yeah.
you in the house. Oh, come on, that goes hands down. But he mustn't look, he wasn't a creepy looking guy.
No, he looked fine. We
Yeah.
had, like I said, one FaceTime chat and I
Yeah,
thought,
that's
I'll
enough.
see you next week.
Kels, one of the things
Shaun.
about living with other people is what goes in the fridge and what comes out of the fridge. When you're both at home at the same time, how does that work?
Yeah, so we've got the fridge split right down the middle. So all of my stuff is on the right-hand side, all of his is on the
I'm
left.
guessing there might be a difference in dietary.
Yeah, well, he's never home, but so he's like just basically got eggs in there at any one time. Mine's like fully done. But yeah, it operates well, the house. But when he's home, I kind of just leave the house to him and sometimes just get out of it because, he has a different lifestyle to me.
Yeah,
A different lifestyle with a bevy of young ladies that Kelsey gets to meet.
Unless you
that's
are one
nice.
of those young ladies, in which case you're the only one.
Do you get excited when
Yeah, well,
excited when he's away? So and during that week, does your stuff go from one side of the fridge to the other side of the fridge? Then when he gets back, you push it all to the other side.
That happened one time and I forgot to change it when he got home. And I got home one day and all of my stuff was like pushed over his
jammed
shoulder.
into your
And I was like, well, I've got to remember. Yeah, no, I do get very comfortable while he's away, and then I have to sort of change my living when he gets home.
Kels, I've got to ask, it seems like you're having a good time over here
Yeah.
since you've been here. The team's winning, which is always great. You're a massive part of the team as well.
Thanks.
How does it go on? When do you know when you're going to stay longer?
So that's that doesn't really happen in netball too often. You don't sort of see like mid-season signings. Everyone just sort of focuses on the year that they're having and the team that they've got, and then sort of post-season, which I think is sometimes difficult because you want to know what your future is.
Yes, there's no stability.
No, not really, unless you've signed multi-year deals, which there's a lot of the girls on our team that have. So I guess where I'm at, we've spoken about this before, I'm just sort of happy playing out this year and seeing what sort of happens. It's like a bonus year for me. I didn't think that I was going to get it.
Yes.
So, you won't often see people signing on mid-year, and I'm sure those conversations will happen later on. And but for me, it's just like we're sitting 6 and 0 at the moment, top
Amazing.
of the ladder.
I would want to keep you around. I love you around. Look,
Just
whether
you?
you play or not, whether you play
Man's got a spare
well or not,
bedroom.
it's your energy energy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've got such a and that's really important to a team as well. Isn't
no
it, Shaun?
doubt.
So what
no
was it
doubt.
like sitting on the sideline, say, on Saturday when it was a hectic game where, it was seesawing lead and then to win only by one?
Yeah, it was. I don't like it. I definitely don't like sitting on the
Stressful.
sideline. It's so stressful, and I feel like you ride every ball.
Yes.
Whereas when you're playing, you're sort of in flow and you're in the moment and you're sort of just focusing on what you're doing and how you can add to the game. I'm not coping, so I would really like to be up
need
for
to be
selection
back
this
out
week.
there.
I said to you guys, I don't like being in pain. I don't like being injured, but my biggest driver for getting back is that I don't want to sit on the sidelines and ride every ball with my teammates. It's so tiring, but the girls are amazing on the weekend. Thunderbirds, I think, are the pinnacle.
They were defensively very strong.
And they're really tough. They keep teams to really low scores. We were kept to our lowest score of the season,
Yeah.
and but they are really good. So for us to come out on top, and I don't think we've done a review. We didn't play our best game either. So to know that we've got margins to go, and we still came out with the 4 points is a good sign for us this early.
I've been instructed to ask you something by
Yes.
Caitlin Bassett.
Oh,
and it's
here we
about
go.
your
Question.
mother. It's about your mother and her nickname. Can you tell us all about that? Apparently she's given herself a nickname.
It's inappropriate. No, that is so funny. I feel like Bass and I are just going to keep selling each other out on this show. So her nickname is Muff Mummy.
Because, and
I
she
don't
gave
know.
herself this.
Yeah, so she doesn't know what that means. And so she'll sign off. I can show you text messages. She'll sign off and say, "Love Muffy." Like, Muffy is her nick. I don't know. I
So
don't know
where did she pull Muffy from?
She just one day signed off and just was like, I'm Muff.
I'm Muff.
And so, yeah, Muff, you could just call me Muff. I think she thought it was like an endearing nickname.
Like short for muffin.
Muffin.
Sweetheart.
Muffin
I'm going to
has
tell
be.
Auntie Snatch about this.
Who is going to explain to her?
No one has explained anything. It's been years.
Oh, bless her. Well, Kelsey, we hope you get back on the court this weekend. It's going to be a massive game against the Vixens on a Sunday. Amanda from Canning Vale is joining the Green Army. She won the ticket. She's going to be there.
Auntie Snatch. That's bloody gold.
Thank you, Kelsey.
Kelsey.
Thank you, Kelsey.
Shaun Sport in podcast form.
We're talking about the NRL just to kick things off quickly. And Brad Arthur, he's the Paramatta Eels coach. He got the ask during the week. He got the ask yesterday, right? And on the weekend when they had the press conference, he said, "No, I think I'm pretty safe. The board said I'm going well." Anyway, he turns up to work on Monday. They said, "See you later." And the whole time...
Wow, can I just say that staff though, they're great at keeping secrets.
Yes.
Because if you know something, it's very hard for you not to look like you know it.
Yeah, like...
What a bunch
hey,
of
hey,
liars.
see you on Monday, and you're like...
I know. Oh my God, I feel so bad. He just left.
And it's the oldest cliche in the book that, I've got the full support of the board.
Oh,
It's
yes.
like, as soon as somebody says that, it's like, oh no, pack your things.
So, Nat, yesterday, South Sydney Rabbitohs, who were going terribly, and they're a massive team, of course. Our mate Elbow, he is mad
he's a
South
supporter.
Sydney supporters.
Russell Crowe, of course.
Yep, they just signed yesterday Wayne Bennett, who's the all-time greatest coach in the
I know, but
NRL
what is he,
in the world.
90?
Mate, he's in his late 70s.
Yeah.
And
There's no sign of stopping.
what happened yesterday with the other guy getting the axe, it's come out that they said it in the press conference that they'd been trying to get Wayne Bennett to sign with them for the last month.
Yeah, right.
So behind the coach, he hadn't lost that many games at that point in time.
So they were manoeuvring to get Wayne Bennett, but they didn't get him, and then they've still given the bloke the lemon and sauce. And
Yeah.
so who's going to coach him now?
a guy called Trent Barrett, who's a young guy, he's a big time NRL
so
player.
they've appointed him as coach, or he's
Yeah.
just a stand-in?
No, just a stand-in.
So
at the
who's a
moment, they're working with him.
70-year-old coach?
Wayne Bennett.
Wayne Bennett, Nath. He's coached just about everyone, and I was watching the Rabbitohs this morning. Some of the players getting interviews. You should see them glowing, mate. They're bringing old mate into the team.
Think about it though. I mean, Joe Biden, Donald Trump, they're running country. They both run countries. They're 70.
Well, I
This is
actually
just a team. This is
One,
just a-
one thing I bring this up to my parents sometimes, in particular my dad. I go, mate,
go back
Wayne
to work.
Barrett, mate.
Yeah.
Wayne Bennett.
Yep.
He's getting 3-year deal contracts, and he's going to be in to 80.
Yeah.
My dad has no time for work anymore. He's got too much to do.
My dad still works being a farmer, of course. I spoke to him the other day, and he's like, "Oh yeah, no, he pulled a 12-hour day." It's like, John, settle down.
How old's he now?
He is about to turn 86.
Unbelievable. There's a guy that I swim with, I think I might have told you before, Barry. He's 83, and I was talking to him, and he's banging out the laps like 3-4 Ks. And then I go, how do you work out your day, Barry? Because he lives just over the Claremont, around Claremont over in one of the apartments. He goes, well, I like to go to the gym 4 times a week.
So it goes to the gym and he
Which is
swims.
Revo upstairs, and it goes at least bang out 3 to 4 swims a week.
And then he has to cross the road to go to the pool.
It would be. I think that's too much for my future self. I would like to be out and about though. I don't want to be. Remember that time I told you I was driving on Grand Prom and I looked down one of the side streets and there was an old woman. She pulled a fold-up chair out at the end of a driveway and she was just looking at the house across the road.
But Nathan,
I thought, is that your day? So then I went and did stuff for a couple of hours and I drove back past a couple of hours and she was still there.
But
sitting
what if
in
it was
the
a
exact
Yeti
same
chair, Nathan? You'd sit there.
The trail chairs from Yeti are amazing. I tell everyone,
So
it may be $3.99, but it's worth it.
Maybe that is your future.
Did you yell out the window? Ever thought of streaming services?
I just thought at least
Maybe she's watched everything.
Like there's nothing happening in that street, so if she at least turned a chair to Grand Prom, she'd see cars going past, but she didn't just look directly ahead and nothing was happening. I thought, well, that's a day.
She's getting some vitamin D though, so on the upside.
And finally, I was just watching Seven last night, and Justin Longmuir was asked about this, and it's been an ongoing situation where they, Fremantle and West Coast, have been trying to lobby the AFL and said, hey, everything's not fair. How about we just even things up a little bit? In the way of business class tickets for the players. We talked about that last week.
Yep.
And other things are the fixturing. Now, this is Justin's response to the question was, WA teams pushing their own barrow.
We accept that living in the West we have to travel a lot, but the northern states get access to the NGAs, SA get access to an extra home game through gather round. So all I'm asking for, and all Simo's asking for, is fairness. So I think the weekend is a great example, 6-day break, and we play a Saturday night game away, which forces us to stay an extra day and a half and get back Sunday. I think West Coast had a 6-day break off Gold Coast a couple of weeks ago. So just little things like that can aid the travel burden.
Can I just say, why are we having to overly explain how unfair something is when it is factually unfair?
Yes,
and
the numbers are there.
It reminds me of us with our GST fight here.
Yeah.
It's like, are we not getting something that the rest of the country are getting? It's not. It's just that it works out better for them. And we have to eat it.
Well, we know it's patently unfair. So Eagles and Dockers are doing somewhere between 50 and 60,000 kilometres a year.
It's closer to 58 and 62 for both teams this year.
So it's around that mark. And then the Melbourne-based teams, some of them might do less.
Collingwood are doing 14,000.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. And you can't go. But it's a fundamentally unfair competition. So to suddenly expect fairness, no wonder they're going, what are you talking about?
But I think you all agree. I mean, you can talk about this all day long, but it is unfair. But how do we make it better?
Yes.
Because we still got to run it as a business. So Collingwood and Essendon and those teams have to play at the MCG so we can get $100,000, 100,000 people. Therefore, WA teams, you're going to get a slice of this because it's all revenues all spread equally.
Yes.
But because of that, we're going to fly up the front end of the plane.
And what it is doing, it's
can
limiting players' playing life. We know that because the number of players that are reaching the really high numbers is so small when it should be higher.
Well, it is, Nat. But the other thing it's not hard to have, as I said, fly them up the pointy end of the plane.
Yeah.
Who cares? Or the second thing that's really important to the teams is if you play away on a Saturday, then you don't have to play till the next Saturday/Sunday.
Yeah.
The Dockers and Eagles at times, and particularly the Dockers last week and 2 weeks before, they get back on a Sunday or even a Monday.
Yeah.
They're playing Friday.
I know, that's
They're
crazy.
Cooked.
Yeah.
It is crazy.
I mean,
well,
that's
I don't
easily
understand why
changed.
there's not a charter jet that is fitted out all business class for the interstate teams, and both of them use it, and that's what they use so that they can come back straight after the game.
Yeah, we'll try to get someone on from. We'll see if we can get Simon Garlick on for the Dockers. We don't normally have a great deal of.
Gina Reinhardt's always trying to get some good vibes with people. Why don't you just buy the 2 WA football teams are playing? She can afford it.
Or Twiggy.
She needs
Or
to
Twiggy.
do some
Like
sports
buy,
washing.
buy a plane.
Yep.
There you go. Everyone will love you. You can mine whatever you want.
Shaun Sport is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.